Okay, welcome everyone. We'll start lesson 4. Today lesson will go through LO4, which is learning outcome 4. My name is Anjum Sattar and my email address anjum@ukversity.co.uk. Today lesson is LO4, which is about be able to develop and implement strategic organizational change and management plans. So why organizations need to be changed themselves? If they don't change it, what will be happen, and what management plan we can develop based on it? So that all will be in our discussion. Uh, okay, let's please think about what you know about change management. Think few minutes. Let's please think how much we know change, why change is important. If we don't change it, what will be happen? Scale 1 to 10, please. How much you know already about change management? Have we heard? Have we learned change management before? Okay, always reflect. Okay, next we're looking now 4.1 assessment criteria. Apply a force field model to effective distension forces of change. So if you want to be change something, force field model we'll discuss. Before that, we need to be look around what is a strategy. Strategy is the direction and the scope of organization over long term, which achieve advantages in the changing environment through its configuration, resources, and competencies with aim to fulfill the stakeholders' expectations. Strategic management and strategy lenses we'll go through in a minute. Okay, so the strategic option, the environment in which organization operate, we need to think about the micro environment. We need to be, couple of you already learn about PEST. We need to think about the political, economic, and social factors. Think about the different political party, different manifestos that also affect organization, like recent changes about the competition law, changes in the UK, various others, equality and diversity laws, uh, cutting stopping the furlough scheme. All these legislation and the political manifesto affect your companies, and we have to be addressed, affect our businesses. We have to address accordingly. Okay, economic factor, what is the inflation rate, what is the per capita income, per person income in the UK, GDP, gross domestic or national income, we can say, how much we have, is it increasing or decreasing? Social factor, what's happening in society towards fashion, your design, all these factors we need to be look around. Okay, T stand for technology. So all we need to be look around the technological factors. Okay, so micro environment, industry and sector, competitors and market, and opportunities and threats. That's all we need to be look around when we'll do industry. Yes, which sector we belong, how many competitors we have, in which market we operate, what opportunities and threat in that particular area, where is our business. Like, think about the textile industry, think about pharmaceutical industry, think about various other, IT industry as well. Okay, next, we're looking strategic position, how strategically capable the organization is, resources and competencies. What resources and competencies we hold. Okay, what abilities we have. So because we have a brand name, we have a competitive advantage, we have a location, our staff is well educated, and our brand image. So these things will help us to sell. These can be our unique selling points. Cost effective, cost efficiencies. We need to be efficient in terms of the cost. We need to be make sure how we can reduce the cost. We need to make sure that reducing the cost. Capabilities to achieve and sustainable competitive advantage. Capabilities we need to be to achieve the competitive advantage which we should create over the competitors. Organizational knowledge, is very important for the change. So we need to be knowledge management. Couple of you heard about knowledge management is a separate subject about knowledge management. So we need to be look around the knowledge management. Yes, we need to be manage knowledge. If we don't manage it, what will be happen? Yes, knowledge management we need to be think about. Okay, we need to diagnostic and manage strategic capabilities, because the capabilities or ability we have today maybe is not viable tomorrow in this competitive environment. Those carry on redundant. Okay, the option, the purpose and the organization option, corporate governance. Okay, we need to be govern the companies. We should have executive, non-executive members. We should have governors to run the companies effectively. It's not like Barclay Bank earns 0 penny profit and the CEO being paid £2 million worth of bonus. We need a corporate governance remuneration committee so we can run the companies effectively. CSR, what is a CSR? Corporate social responsibility. Organization, what is our definition of organization? Organization is an artificial person and they should treat other human being equally. Yes, they should treat other human being equally. Okay, sustainability. Sustainability means we need to be focused to stay in a business, 3 P's. We need to care about profit. If we don't care about profit, we can't sustain it. We need to care about planet. Yes, and we need to care about people. Profit, planet, and people we need to be care about. If we don't do it, we can't sustain it. Stakeholders. Stakeholders mean anybody who has any interest in the business is called stakeholders. Values, missions, visions, and objectives. Yes, what values we have, what missions, what visions and objective we have as an organization we need to. So we need to be make sure we not compromise our values, we not contradict with our mission and visions and objective as the organization, why we are in the business. Strategic position, the culture. Culture means the norms, value, the beliefs, all we need to be. So culture of organization is like in the past, Safeway and Morrison merged together. Morrison took over Safeways, but they can't transfer all the store, 250. Only 50 stores they managed to convert. Couple of you maybe remember back in 2005. Okay, next. Okay, what is the cultural web? Cultural web, the model is given by the Johnson and School. Cultural web model is given by the Johnson and Scholes and suggests that the question to ask to help determine the culture of an organization: stories, symbols, power structure, organizational structure, control system, usual routine, and this is the paradigm. In a cultural web, we need to be like a web, created by. So this is by Johnson and Scholes. They gave the model. The culture represent. Hello, welcome. Hello, can you hear me? So we're looking the cultural web, which is the model given by Johnson and Scholl. Web is all the culture represent according to the Johnson and Scholl. Symbol is represent the culture. The power structure in an organization represent the culture. Organization structure represent the culture of organization. Control system, stories, all these represent the culture of organization. Okay. Role of cultural web. Cultural web is used to map organization cultures and the process repeat repeatedly we do, repeat again to identify how culture is intended to be. They tend to highlight the difference between two, and the difference are the changes needed to be made to achieve the performance culture desired. Okay. Strategic choices we need to look around the international applicable drivers of internationalization if we want to go international business, corporate, UNSUF metric, which will go through portfolio metric, which we discuss BCG, portfolio metric, McKinsey, 7S approach. So these models we can use. Strategic business units, SBUs, strategic clock, sustainable advantage, hyper competition, game theory. So these we can use it to be make the strategic choices right and to achieve our strategic objective. Strategic choices and innovation and entrepreneurship. Striking a balance, anticipating innovation, whether to be first mover or the follower, risk involved in innovations, and what to be done about, and deciding between different opportunities for innovation. That's very important if you want to be innovation, and as an organization we want to be. Strategy in action, organization and resourcing, we need to be look around the structure, processes and relationship if we want to be change. Okay, so when making strategic change need to be considered, what we need to be said strategies, we need to look around the strategic choices. Further, what we need to be. So you have to ask the question, what time is available? What is the scope of the change? What aspect of the current situation need to be preserved? How diverse are the people's experience, views, and opinion across the organization? Who is available to manage the change? What resources are required? How are ready to change? Because that's we need to ask, and we can think about the cultural web model as well. Then one model is given by the force field model is by the Levins, one of the popular authors. He said, could be force field model to help to manage the change. What aspect of the current situation could block the change, and how could overcome these change? What aspect of the current situation could help to bring the change in, and how could we reinforce these if at all? And what other aspects need to be introduced to help to bring the change in? So forces for the change and forces resisting to change, driving forces and restraint forces, those we need to identify. So according to the Levins, we need, there are the forces for the change, there are the driving forces, and some are the restraint forces, those don't want change. Like some people, the union, they don't want to be making the change happen because they think the change will be bad for them. So that's why we need to be taken on board. So in the Levins model, there are the forced driving and the forced restraint, where there is an equilibrium between two set of the forces, there will be no change. In order to change occur, driving forces must exceed the restraint forces. Levins in analysis can be used: investigate the balance power involved in an issue, identify the key holders on the issues, identify opponent and the allies, and identify how influence the target group. Okay, so Levin's three steps chain process, which is we need the model is also three process model. The step chain process model is first unfreeze, chain, and freeze. Provide high level of approach of change. So according to leader help the following three steps: make radical change, minimize disruptions and structures operation, and make sure the change is adopted permanently, not for the few months and then you go back to the scale one. Okay, then we need to be live in stage model: unfreeze, preparing people for change; change, making the change; and refreezing, embedding the change. So unfreeze, change, and freeze. Okay, so what we need to do, I copied the guide link. If you want to read the further, here is a link, chapter of the book, which you can read, copy the link, and we can. Overcoming the resistance of the chain, part of the unfreezing behavior will be break down the resistant to chain and the resistant to chain action taken by individual and the group. They perceive that the change, that outcome is a threat to them. So that's why we need to take on board, we need to be clearly guidance communication so that won't be happen. Job factor, yes, fear of technology unemployment, fear of the chain working condition, fear of the demotions of reduced pay. Reason, social factor, dislike the needs to be break up current social environment. Personal dislike the people implement the change. Lack of consultation leading to rejections of the change. Personal factors, yes, implied the criticism of the current working method, feel less valued. Resistant may be many forms, include the active and possessive, avert and convert. So we need to be look around individual versus organization, aggressive versus timid, and for each source resistant management need to be provide appropriate response. Okay, so here is very important when we look the chain, we need to be look around according to the quarter, we need to be adopt the style. And leadership style is also play the key role in the chain. Participational leader, yes, we can educate and communicate power and method of overcoming the resistance, facilitation and support, manipulation and and negotiation. So all these, help, to be achieve the change effectively in our organization. Otherwise, we can't, so that is crucial in our organization for the change purposes we have to do. Anybody, any question? So please, guys, is we need to be think about, in our own organization. Okay, then we moving towards 4.2 assessment criteria, critically evaluate various change management models. Various chain model. Chain can be classified by the extent of the chain required, the speed with which the chain is to be achieved, transformational and realignment, incremental chain according to the model. Sometimes we need a continuous transformational change, implement gradually, not just do because the people feel. Realignment, change undertaken to realign the way in the organization operate. Revaluation is a big bang theory, like the transformational change is occur while simultaneously you came and suddenly the things change in the office. And reconstruction, the change undertaken to be realigned the way which organization operate. Many initiatives implement and spontaneous and often forced and reactive because of the change competitive context. So that's why we need to be changed. So this model is indicate you can do the change by incremental or the change by big bang or transformational and realignment we need to be think about. Other quarter mention 8 steps of change. If you want to change something, you have to follow the 8 steps. Establish the sense of urgency, why we need to be changed. As a human being, if we don't change according to the environment, we'll stay behind. Other people will capture the opportunity in the business or in real individual environment as well. Forming the power, guiding the coalition, assembling group with the enough power to lead the change effort, encourage the group to work together as a team. Creation of vision, creating a vision to help direct the change effort, develop strategies for achieve the vision. That's what we need to. Okay, communication the vision, using every vehicle possible to communicate the new vision and the strategies. Teaching new behavior by example of guiding coalition. 5, empowering others to act on the vision, getting rid of the obstacle for change. changing the system and the structures seriously undermine the VN, encourage the risk-taking and the non-traditional ideas, activities and actions, planning for and creating short-term wins. So planning for the visible performance improvement, creating those improvements and recognizing, rewarding employees involved in the improvement. So next step 7, consolidation improvement and producing still more change using increased credibility. We need to be change system, structure, policies, hiring, promotions. Then we need 8th step is institutionally new approaches we need to be adopt, articulating the connections between the new behavior and the corporate success and developing the means to ensure the leadership development and succession plan. Okay. Individual resistant to change can be selective perception, habit, misunderstood, inconvenience, or the loss of freedom, economic implications, security. That's why we need to be make sure we can take them. Organizational resistance, undefined goals and objective can be the reason, financial, environmental, lack of resources, bad resources allocation, insufficient communication that also will lead the organization resistant to change. Okay, so organization resistant other can be structural, yes, lack of perception, cultural issue, and these things, So as we mentioned earlier, the types of the strategic change can be adaptation, deconstruction, evaluation, and reevaluation. So nature of the chain, we said big bang and incremental like in the previous slide. And when making the strategic chain need to be considered the time available, what scope, challenges, always we need to be look around the cultural web. Strategic chain, we discuss force field model, different leadership style and approaches, management strategic chain. So these are all the models we can think and we can adopt and we can great man theory, which is given by trade theory people, trades, behaviorist theories we have on, situational leadership theories we can consult if we want to be changed, contingency theories is when is need, environment, transactional theory, we think, change is as a transaction and cost and benefit analysis and transformation. Okay, different style for managing the change, education, intervention, participation and caution can be middle management and the other stakeholders we need to be managed the change. So that's, we need to be considered. Communication strategy we need to be developed in our organization, communication, effective communication. We need to take on board people. If we don't do it, we can't, head and mind for the people who need to be executed, the change. That's, we need to look around. Communicating the strategies we need to be, when you are communicating strategy, you communicating the change. So ensuring the employees are ready for change, execute the intense change and ensure the change become permanent, not just, So we can look around the Levin's model, quarter age step models, yes, and force field model. So these models we can look at when we'll go through or implement the change. Okay. Communicating strategy and chain motivation, we can look around the Horsberg hygiene factor. Those are the demotivator factor and motivator factors. Tangible versus intangible strategies why implies, so that's, we can look around to be chain implement. Okay. Communication strategy, I want to avoid the people being made redundant. I want to be secure the people jobs and livelihood. So you need to be communicate away from the thinking versus towards thinking. Yeah, that's we can look around communicating strategies. We need to sort analysis we can do. We can look around before, we can communicate with them. Communicating the strategies as launching the strategies we need, follow up and the commitment we need to be for the people. So some key points we need to be change strategies by and need to communicate. Yeah. So what we need to change and what communication is required, why is it required, how we can do it. So you have to ask the question. Anybody, any question? Okay. Then we have a 4.3, relevant the leadership and change agent skill. So what skills required as a leader for the change pursuit? Strategic leadership, having ability to anticipate and prepare and get, the position for the future. A leader must be tuned to signal the provide insight, good inspirational skill abilities, ability to plan opportunities, abilities and good. Okay, middle managers are the linking between the senior management teams and the assist for the organization that we need. Change agent, we need to be followed, and the leadership skill, which is Cantor gave us, communication skill, tuning into the environment, challenging, fulfilling the organization wisdom, learning to preserve and building coalitions and transforming ownership to work them and making everyone hear. That's really need to be important. And that's as these skills we need to be developed as a leader, leadership skills, that will help us to be achieve our organization. And then I created a Kahoot because you guys, most of not joined today, so that's what we'll try to play in the next lesson. These are the recommended books and reading. If you have any question, please drop me email on my email address anjum@ukversity.co.uk. And I hope speak you our next lesson. And if you have any question, drop me email. Thanks for listening and attending. Thank you. Bye bye.